Are you surprised that Amazon threw in the towel?
I'm really not. If you look at the political climate that Amazon faced in New York and you look at what they were trying to leave behind here in Seattle, it makes sense that they would pull back. They were tired of having protests. They were tired of having people challenge their efforts to build a local economy. And I know there are many well-founded criticisms of any business that size, but I'm just trying to give you some understanding of where I think the Amazon folks are coming from. There are hundreds of cities that really want an Amazon, and they got to New York and realized that that town wasn't one of them. And so I think that's a good reason to have a portfolio approach, and it's a wake-up call to all of us in tech that we really have to think about how we treat our workers and how we're perceived by the general public because we're not necessarily going to be welcomed everywhere we go anymore.
Shouldn't Amazon have known better if they had engaged with local leaders, if they had, perhaps thought this out a little more, and why do they need all those incentives?
Well, who am I to judge? I think Amazon has been incredibly successful because of the narrowness of its focus. It's the most customer-centric company on the planet. And that focus on the customer, I think, has sometimes given it a blind spot for political issues and social issues and all the other contexts that businesses are now being asked to address. So I think it's fair to say that they may have been naive in trying to anticipate the political backlash, but I think the people who have really been short-sighted about this are all the folks protesting Amazon's arrival in New York. I just heard a woman saying that we won, and nobody won today. Nobody won.
So give us some context on the pushback that Amazon has faced in Seattle. Why did Amazon need to do this in the first place, and how do they avoid creating those problems elsewhere?
Well, Amazon needed to do this because it made Seattle one of the most prosperous places on the planet. And I think everyone here owes a debt of gratitude to Amazon for that. But now we're just bursting at the seams. So there just isn't enough space for all the people that Amazon wants to hire. There is definitely political controversy about whether or not Amazon should be doing this or that when it originally understood itself as a business. So Amazon really realized that it had to have its eggs in more than one basket. And then it went to New York and came to another realization that it shouldn't be in that basket. So I think Amazon is going to spend more time and money burnishing its image, spend more time and money investing in its community. But it's also going to continue to be really focused on getting packages delivered on time and building the cloud and all the other things that it needs to build its business. I think it's very disciplined about its focus. And so the idea that Amazon is somehow going to turn into something that it's not, that's just not going to happen.
Glenn, what does it mean for the Long Island City real estate market not having Amazon there? What does it mean for Northern Virginia that it appears Amazon will be setting up shop there?
Well, I've just never believed that Amazon's going to have only 2 headquarters. It employs people all around the world. It's going to open up another engineering headquarters somewhere else. So obviously that's going to put more pressure on Northern Virginia. We're going to see that housing market really take off. But I would just expect Amazon to continue looking. It's going to continue comparing the cost of living in different places and the government incentives that it gets and everything else. But part of its criteria is going to be, where is there a political climate where our business really feels welcome? Because you have to remember that all of us in tech are used to being viewed as heroes, where we come into town and create jobs and generate prosperity. And so any other kind of welcome is just so disconcerting, I think, for a business that has done so much for many of the towns that it's been in.